Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 1, text number 41. And if you read the forum, it will say that Jananivas is giving class today. So because most of the demigods read the forum, and they're all here right now, all the demigods. And unfortunately, that's why so many devotees were not allowed to come today, because they all knew the demigods would just fill this room up, which they have. And I want to thank all the demigods here for coming. Oh, and you guys too. Thank you. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay. Swapne yata pashyati deham idrisham manoratanena manoratena binivishta chetanaha drishta shutabhyam manasa nuchintayan prapadyate tat kim api yapashmritihi. Okay. Swapne yata pasyati deham idrisham manoratena binivishta chetanaha drishta shrutabhyam manasa nuchintayan prapadyate tat kim api hyapashmritihi. Swapne yata pasyati deham idrisham manoratena binivishta chetana drishta shrutabhyam manasa nuchintayan prapadyate tat kimapi hyapashmritihi. Swapne yata pasyati deham idrisham manoratena binivishta chetana drishta shrutabhyam manasa nuchintayan prapadyate tat kimapi yapashmritihi. Swapne yata pasyati deham idrisham manoratena binivishta chetana drishta shrutabhyam manasa nuchintayan prapadyate tad kim api yapashmritihi. Swapne yata pasyati deham idrisham manoratena binivishta chetana drishta shrutabhyam manasa nuchintayan prapadyate tat kim api yapashmritihi. Mata pasyati deham idrisham manoratena binivishta chetana Matajis. Anybody? You're up. Swapne yata pasyati deham idrisham manoratena binivishta chetana Krishna Shrutabhyam Manasanuchintayan Prapadyate Tad Kimapi Abhashrititi. Anybody else? I'm not going to embarrass anybody today. Swapne, in a dream. Yata, as. Pashyati, one sees. Deham, the kind of body. Idrisham, similarly. Manoratena, by mental speculation. Abhinivishta, is fully absorbed. Chaitana, he whose consciousness. Drishta, by whatever has been experienced by seeing with the eyes. Shrutabhyam, and by hearing a description of something else. Manasa, by the mind. Anuchintayan, thinking, feeling, and willing. Prapadyate, surrenders. Tat, to that situation. Kim api, what to speak of. He, indeed. Apashmritihi, experiencing forgetfulness of the present body. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Having experienced a situation by seeing or hearing about it, one contemplates and speculates about that situation, and thus one surrenders to it, not considering his present body. Similarly, by mental adjustments, one dreams at night of living under different circumstances in different bodies and forgets his actual position. Under this same process, one gives up his present body and accepts another. Tata dehantara prapti. Purport. Transmigration of the soul is very clearly explained in this verse. One sometimes forgets his present body and thinks of his childhood body, a body of the past, and of how one was playing, jumping, talking, and so on. There's actually another almost 3 pages of purport. So what I'm going to do is just sort of break it all down a little bit. Like this particular part where Prabhupada mentions sometimes you forget your present body and you think of your childhood body. There's a story one time where the devotees are about to head up the stairs to Prabhupada's room in Los Angeles. And a couple of the devotees that were with him, his disciples, they ran up the stairs ahead of Srila Prabhupada. And they were going up backwards, running up the stairs. And Prabhupada looked and he says, "Don't think I don't want to do that too. I used to run upstairs when I was younger. I want to still do that, but my body won't let me do it." So that's something, a lesson there, that don't think because you have these young, youthful bodies, you're not going to get old. I'm telling you, it happens. I'm here, living proof. I go in kirtan. I want to jump up and down and dance more ecstatically than anybody. I used to do that. Now I've got maybe 2 minutes of fame where I can go like this, and then I'm like, and I slowly move out of the kirtan. Of course, you heard the other day I told that story of that devotee who, in a very wonderful Sunday feast kirtan, left his body jumping up and down in front of Gauri Thai. So I always thought, that's my goal. But yet when push comes to shove, I kind of back off. I think, I could have a heart attack. Not quite ready to go, so I slow down. But that is the nature. We always think we're still some young, youthful, vibrant, everything works properly. Well, guess what? It slowly deteriorates. So that's what we're learning here. The body changes from boyhood to youth to old age. I get it now. I totally get it. So when the material body is no longer workable, it becomes dust. From dust thou art, and unto dust thou shalt return. Does everybody know where that's from? What shloka is that? It's what? Where is that from? The Bible. Srila Prabhupada's quoting the Bible. I love it. Is there a light here? Can we put this light on so maybe I can see what I'm reading? Dust thou art, until dust thou shalt return. So Prabhupada's quoting the Bible. Ah, perfect. Thank you. Thank you. But when the body again mixes with the 5 material elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether, the mind continues to work. The mind is the subtle substance in which the body is created, and we actually experience in our dreams, as we actually experience in our dreams, and also when we are awake in contemplation. So everybody, we all have these amazing dreams where we can be superheroes. Don't we get those ones? You know, you can just like do anything and you're just empowered. You can, you know, anything your little mind conjures up, you're able to conquer. Well, I'll tell you one of my dreams. I used to play basketball, so I'm always the hero in my dreams. 3, 2, 1, he sinks it! Yeah! And that's me, every dream. But guess what? It's really funny. Even though I dream those dreams, now as I'm getting older, I can't get the ball out of my hands. Like, how does my subtle body know I'm getting old? Leave me alone. I'm trying to enjoy. But no, the subtle body is thinking, you can't pull that one off anymore. I go to jump higher than everybody else, and I can't get off the ground. It's like, what happened? This is a dream. I'm supposed to be having fun. The real material life is like bad enough. Now my dreams are terrible. So don't think that the dream world is something you're going to enjoy. Ooh, there's an analogy there. The dream world is something you're going to enjoy. Are we in a dream right now? We sure are. We're thinking we are somebody special. Guess what? We're not. This is just all an illusion to you all. We're not supposed to be here doing this. You're not supposed to be contemplating the objects of the senses. You're not supposed to be thinking, I'm so hungry. When's he going to stop talking? I want to go eat. No, you have to sit here. You've committed. Now you're here. And you're surrounded by the demigods. You missed that. I was telling how all the demigods are here, thinking Jivanath is going to give class, because they all assemble for him. And I'm disappointed too. Narada, glad you can make it. Brahma, way to go. Shiva, keep it up. Sorry, I'm not Jivanath, but glad you guys showed up. So one must understand that the process of mental speculation develops a new type of body that does not actually exist. If one can understand the nature of the mind, manoratena, and its thinking, feeling, and willing, one can very easily understand how from the mind different types of body develop. I was just thinking this morning, I was sitting out in the courtyard, and after that japa, one round of japa that all those guests chant, right at the end of that conversation that the Prabhu has, they all know, if I get up right now, I'm going to be first in line for the prasadam coupons. So there's a mad rush, and they all line up to get that prasadam coupon, because really that's kind of like a major reason why they're here. They want that coupon. Free meal, free meal. I'm hoping they're thinking, prasadam, prasadam, but it's probably more, free meal, free meal. But they all line up. Now I was thinking, imagine at the time of death where we're all lining up to get our next body. We're waiting for the verdict, and it's handed to you on a coupon. Imagine this, you're all waiting in line, form a little line, it goes around like this. One by one you get your coupon. You get your coupon for your next body. You don't get prasad, you get a coupon for your next body. And you look down on it and it goes, dog, dog! In India, not even like the Western countries where they're going to treat me like a king. No, I got to be born in India. And off you go. And the next guy, he's thinking, I was so pious. I was really together. What do you mean a mosquito? I don't want to be a mosquito. I harassed a lot of people all the time. Ooh, so I guess I'm a mosquito now. So you're lining up, you get this coupon, and guess what? You don't know what you're going to get, Because you're not a devotee. You haven't practiced Krishna consciousness, so you could get anybody. You have a whole list. You don't get to choose your top 3. Let's see, there's 8,004. Let me just narrow it down. I'll have my top 10. I'd like to be a demigod number 1. No, you don't get that opportunity. You don't get to choose after you've spent a whole life doing all kinds of nonsense. You're given a body. You don't get to choose it. But the fun part's going to come for us devotees. And Prabhupada will explain this in a few seconds. The Krishna consciousness movement, therefore, offers a process of transcendental activities wherein the mind is fully absorbed in affairs pertaining to Krishna. The presence of the soul is perceived by consciousness, and one must purify his consciousness from material to spiritual, or in other words, to Krishna consciousness. That which is spiritual is eternal, and that which is material is temporary. Without Krishna consciousness, one's consciousness is always absorbed in temporary things. For everyone, therefore, Krishna recommends in Bhagavad Gita, Manmanabhavavad Bhakto Mam Yajimam Namaskaru. One should always be absorbed in thought of Krishna. One should become his devotee. One should always engage in his service and worship him as the supreme great, and one should always offer him obeisances. In the material world, one is always a servant of a greater person. And in the spiritual world, our constitutional position is to serve the supreme, the greatest, Param Brahma. This is the instruction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Jivera Svarabhoy Krishnera Nityadas. To act in Krishna consciousness is the perfection of life and the highest perfection of yoga. As Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Yoginam api sarvesham madgaten antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yuktatmato mata. Of all yogis, he who always abides in me with great faith, worshipping me in transcendental loving service, is most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. The condition of the mind, which flickers between sankalpa and vikalpa, accepting something and rejecting it, is very important in transferring the soul to another material body at the time of death. Yam yam vapi smaram bhavam tachetyante kalevaram tam tam evate kunteya saratabhava bhavitaha. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, that state he will attain without fail. Therefore one must train the mind in the system of bhakti yoga, as did Maharaj Ambarish, who kept himself always in Krishna consciousness. Savai mana Krishna paravadavandyo. One must fix the mind at the lotus feet of Krishna 24 hours a day. If the mind is fixed upon Krishna's lotus feet, the activities of the other senses will be engaged in Krishna's service. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhaktir Uchate. To serve Krishna, the master of the senses, with purified senses is called bhakti. I wanted to tell you a story. We're talking about how if you fix your mind on Krishna, then you get to go to Krishna. So I was thinking about how people end up as ghosts. Now ghosts are something interesting. I mean, we all know if you like that, then you become a ghost. But there's also souls that are so attached to their environment, to where they are, they don't want to leave it. They don't want to leave it. And their gift is, okay, stay. You get to stay. You get to be a ghost. You don't have a material body, but you get to stay there. In 1976, in Philadelphia, we purchased a nursing home to be our temple. And we sent 2 devotees to go stay there the first night after we signed the deed. And they came back the next morning. Now, the 2 devotees that we sent were a cook and a pujari. Now, back in 1976, if you were a cook or a pujari, you were a loser. No, back on. It does? I bet you. Hare Krishna. Ooh, it came back on. I usually get, cut off. So anyway, we go, for all those that didn't hear all that, that's what you missed. So we go to the temple. There's 15 of us. And we set up camp in that little outer section of this nursing home. And we're getting ready to just go back after a night and just totally goof on these two guys who came back and said there was weird things going on. So we get to the temple nursing home, and we decide to do a little kirtan, Harinam, through the building. So we started and we went downstairs. And as we go downstairs, we get this really creepy vibe. Like, it's just, I can't describe it. It was just creepy. Like, something's not right. This is weird. So we went into the first bedroom downstairs, and the bed looked like somebody just got out of it. And this place has been abandoned for 5 years. And the bed had like that little slight indentation, like somebody was just sleeping there. And we all looked and went, whoa. So the chanting got a little bit louder. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. We're like, wow, these ghosts, they really do exist. It was for real. There was all these old people who died, this is a speculation, in this nursing home and did not want to leave it. And they were still there as ghosts. And I saw the mist. Now this, I know. And I looked at the other guys and they're all like, yeah, we see it too. And then the kirtan got like really loud. And we weren't just playing cartels, we were beating the cartels. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. We were all scared. All the big, strong brahmacharis were like, let's get out of here. Let's go back upstairs. So we went back up and we huddled in this front room. And we were scared. We had the incense, we're ringing bells, we put pictures all around. And then we heard voices coming from an abandoned nursing home. We're like, whoa. And then we heard doors banging. Boom, 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 boom. We heard pots rattling. Whatever the pot sounds like, but the mouth thing I can't do. But I can do the voices. We heard all this. And we go, wow. I mean, this is for real. So, needless to say, that night we didn't sleep so good. We were just like, we were scared. So these are people who are attached to this material body. They're attached to this material situation. They decide to stay. Let me stay. No material body. Sorry, you don't get that, but you do get to stay. And you are going to be totally frustrated because you can't act out anything. But yet, that's where they happen. Okay. So, back to Prabhupada's purport. Those who constantly engage in devotional service are situated in a transcendental state above the material modes of nature. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mam cho yo vibhajrena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaitan Brahma Bhuyaya Kapate. One who engages in full devotional service, who does not fall down in any circumstance, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. One must learn the secret of success from the Vedic literatures, especially when the cream of Vedic knowledge is presented by Bhagavad Gita as it is. Because the mind is ultimately controlled by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, the word apashmitihi is significant. Forgetfulness of one's own identity is called apashmitihi. This apashmitihi can be controlled by the Supreme Lord, for the Lord says, Matasmrityar ganam apohanam cha. From me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. Instead of allowing one to forget one's real position, now this is the part I love. Please listen to this. This is actually of the whole purport, this is the part I love the most. Krishna can revive one's original identity at the time of one's death, even though the mind may be flickering. So, you got some support. Krishna is your friend. Keep him a very close friend. Show him how sincere you are. He isn't going to forget you at the time of death. So we panic thinking about the time of death. And you should panic. You should be panicking. Prabhupada said that. Don't think it's going to be easy when you start choking and you can't breathe and your mind is going a million miles an hour. Get me out of here. I don't like this. It's going to be very difficult to remember Krishna. But Krishna says he'll come along and help you out. Although the mind may work imperfectly at the time of death, Krishna gives a devotee shelter at his lotus feet. Therefore, when a devotee gives up his body, the mind does not take him to another material body. Tvaktva deham punar janma naiti mam eti. Rather, Krishna takes the devotee to that place where he is engaged in his pastimes, mam eti, as we have already discussed in previous verses. One's consciousness, therefore, must always be absorbed in Krishna, and then one's life will be successful. Otherwise, the mind will carry the soul to another material body. The soul will be placed in the semen of a father and discharged into the womb of a mother. The semen and ovum create a particular type of body according to the form of the father and the mother. And when the body is mature, the soul emerges in that body and begins a new life. This is the process of transmigration of the soul from one body to another. Deha tehantara prapti. Unfortunately, those who are less intelligent think that when the body disappears, everything is finished. The entire world is being misled by such fools and rascals. But as stated in Bhagavad Gita 2:20, Nahanyate hanyamane sharire. The soul does not die when the body is destroyed. Rather, the soul takes on another body. So that was a pretty intense purport. I'm thinking it kind of covers all the angles of Krishna consciousness. So let me ask a question. Is there anybody here who is not convinced of this philosophy? Anybody here not convinced? 100% convinced. There's no doubt in your mind. You have no doubt. You're on the right path. You're doing the right thing. It actually isn't that odd of a question. One time in Los Angeles in 1971, Prabhupada was sitting in a garden amongst all his sannyasis, GBCs, leading people running the movement for him, and he asked them that question. Are you convinced? And they're all like, what do you mean? What do you mean, Prabhupada? We're here, you know. But he says, are you convinced? And then he said, do you know why I wrote these books? I wrote these books to convince you to chant Hare Krishna. That's the only way out, to chant Hare Krishna. You follow what's in the books and chant Hare Krishna. It's the only way out. So it's very, very important to be convinced and be honest with yourself. Do you have any doubts? If you have doubts, you should start expressing them and clear them up. Don't carry them with you. So one of the important points from back in the beginning of this purport is controlling the mind. And it's interesting because a couple of days ago, a devotee asked me a very deep question at, 5:25 a.m. in the morning. He asked me a very deep question. And I said, Prabhu, I don't answer questions like that at this time of the day. And he kind of like, okay. And he came back the next day and he said, can you clarify what you meant by that? And I said, sure, I can. And I told him why I don't do that. Because I've been practicing this program that I find actually helps me. And I've only been doing it now for, I think, 5 years. To be really honest, 5 years I've been practicing this program. As I get up at the same time, I do the exact same things. I go to the temple, I chant some japa, I do Mangal Artik, I chant some more japa, I chant my Gayatri, I go to the Guru Puja, I greet the deities, I listen to class, and then I go back home. I do the same thing. It's like five and a half hours of my day. Every day I do the exact same thing. It's so boring, which I mentioned the last time I gave a class. I'm a very boring person. I do the same thing. Golly, you're doing the same. 3:45, there he goes, he's up. But what it does is, it is a way of tricking your mind into staying asleep. Like, just leave me alone. I've already got this routine. I don't need you to figure anything out for me. I don't need you to tell me, why don't you go back to bed? You're really tired. Or, you went to Mangal Artik yesterday. What do you need to go today? You got to go every day? And these 16 rounds, there's so much more we could be thinking about. We could be planning things. We could be just getting so many of ideas floating through. I could help you with this. I could be there for you. But I'm saying no. I'm sorry, I don't need you at this time in the morning. Hold on. So I worked out this system where I just tell my mind, okay, forget about it. I don't need you. You can come again and we'll be partners at 9:30. But till 9:30 in the morning, it's just me. I'm sorry, you're not with me anymore. You're not my friend. I hate to break it to you, but you're not my friend. You're getting me to do things and think things, and I don't want to do them. So just leave me alone for 5 hours. You were having these wonderful dreams. You were doing all kinds of things. You keep doing that. Me, I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to get up in the morning. I'm going to go to the temple. I'm going to chant some japa. Go see some devotees. That's my thing. You can go and be an astronaut or fly or make that winning shot in the game. I don't care. You do it. But from 3:30 on, forget about it. And what this does is it actually controls your mind. Your mind is not controllable, basically speaking, isn't it? It's flickering. It's like all over the joint. You try chanting japa while your mind is like running like on warp speed computer stuff. You could do this, you could do that, you could do this, I could go over here, I could do that, everything. Oh, at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, I'm going to do this and the other thing. Oh, isn't that the wedding? I'm supposed to go to a wedding this weekend. No, that was that thing. What was that? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And sometimes you can actually even calm your mind down by, I can read Facebook. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. It's only me in the Facebook now. It's actually a lot simpler because the mind is like all over the place. But Facebook is very simple. I can just get into that. So I can control my mind. Me and Facebook, we're like a team. So I practice this thing, and it works. Now, anybody here, you can do this. It's not an exclusive thing. I don't own the copyright to this program. You can actually infringe on the rights of this copyright of the program. You can actually do this. Don't give your mind options early in the morning. And it sets a pattern. Like very successful people say, when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you should do, does anybody know this? The first thing you should do when you wake up, this is what successful people say. First thing you do when you wake up in the morning is you make your bed. And then you've accomplished something. You're like, I did something. Everything else is successful now because I did something positive. Well, I say this is a little bit different. I say the first thing you do in the morning is just do what you do. Get up, take your shower, brush your teeth, do your thing, come to the temple. That's it. And it actually forces the mind to back off. Just back off. I don't need you. So you're out of here. So we're trying to become 100% Krishna conscious. Isn't that the goal? Everybody? Goal? 100% Krishna conscious. You're not going to get there. Sorry. I really hate to bust everybody's bubble. It's probably not going to happen in this lifetime. Who here thinks they can be 100% Krishna conscious? Yeah, you can? All right. So we have one pure devotee amongst us. Awesome. 2. Just because you're kids, you think you got it all made. I can do this. So easy. What kind of nanartas do I have? Just wait. Just wait. 100% Krishna conscious is the goal. Prabhupada said that. In a class in Los Angeles in 1970, he said, in order to go back to Godhead, you must be 100%, 100% Krishna conscious to go back to Godhead. And all the devotees that filled the room like this, just packed in like this, they all made the same expression on their face. They're thinking 100%. I mean, what am I now, like 10%? I mean, I do the morning program and then I'm in all kinds of Maya, but 100%. So Prabhupada noticed that. He looked at all their faces and they're just like, and throughout the rest of his lecture, they couldn't change that facial expression. They were like, so almost halfway through the lecture, Prabhupada says, okay, 90% Krishna conscious, and Krishna will accept you back in the spiritual world. And all their faces went from to, they didn't change. 90%? Can't we do better than that? 90% Krishna conscious? So they still had that face. So Prabhupada continued his lecture, but to faces like that, it wasn't so enlivening. So as he was walking off the Vyasa-san, heading back to his room, he says, all right then, 80% Krishna conscious. Krishna will welcome you with both arms back to Godhead. And he walked off. Now a couple of the sannyasis that were with him, when they got back to his room, they said, Srila Prabhupada, like 80% is still almost not attainable for us. And Prabhupada says, okay. He says, I have a plan for you then. You simply grab hold of the back of my dhoti, because I have a key to the back door. And all the devotees went, Jai Srila Prabhupada. So there's the key right there. Got to hold on to the dhoti of the pure devotee. And he can drag us back while we're holding on to other things. But we should be 2 hands holding on to that dhoti. And that's a very important point. It's the mercy of the spiritual master that's going to save us. Now, a devotee one time asked Srila Prabhupada, he said, Prabhupada, I find it very difficult to meditate on Krishna. And I'm thinking at the time of death, it's going to be very difficult as well for me to meditate on Krishna. What if I'm meditating on you? Is that okay? And Prabhupada says, yes, it is the same. Because you're meditating on a pure devotee of God who is meditating on Krishna. And that is good enough. And that's where we can all put our focus. Let's try to meditate on pleasing our spiritual master. Right? So it's not about anything else than pleasing the spiritual master. When we hear about this changing bodies, we see a diorama of changing bodies. We can go, yeah, I can see baby, youth, old age, do it again. And to us, walking around in a body, it's not that fearful. It's not that scary. I'll get it together, and towards the end maybe, and I'll become Krishna conscious, go back to Godhead. What's the big deal? Not a big deal. It's scary. Think about it. Think about taking another birth. Thinking about being in a baby body and all the wonderful activities that babies do, that we go, oh, isn't that cute? He threw up all over himself. Imagine how embarrassing the living entity is. I mean, it's not something to look forward to. It's not something to look forward to. I heard a story. My wife actually told me this story about one of her sons. That when he was born, he didn't do that usual baby thing, like, meh, meh. He came out and he went like, oh no, not here again. And she actually noticed it on his face. He looked like bummed out. Like, oh, geez, I didn't get it right. I thought I was there. What happened? I got to do one more birth at least, maybe. I don't know. But the look on his face, she said, was priceless. It was like, oh, crap. I'm back again. So, does everybody know who Pishima is? Pishima? Srila Prabhupada's sister, right? Wonderful devotee, disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta, as was Prabhupada. Now, there's a story that Ananga Manjari Mataji, who's the mother of Vishvambar, Vishvambar, singer, Mayapuri, that's his mom. And she was with Pishima when Pishima left her body. Now, the reason I'm telling you this story, you'll hear at the end. So Bhishma was very close to leaving her body. And Ananga Manjari was looking after her here in Mayapur. And she was so concerned. She was like, please, Krishna, please, Prabhupada, help your sister. Help her because she's suffering. She's suffering badly. Please take her because she's in so much pain. And Bhishma was just lying there, almost unconscious. And Ananga Manjari would say, Bhishma, is there anything I can do for you? Do you need to go to the bathroom? Do you want a drink of water? Is there anything I can do? Do you want to hear Prabhupada chanting? And from her almost unconscious state, she went, Oh, so Bhishma, you want to hear Prabhupada chanting? So she put on a tape of Prabhupada singing Nittai Parakamala. And all of a sudden, Bhishma started moving her finger. Still almost out of her body, but still there. And so Ananga Manjari was like, oh, this is so sweet. And next thing you know, devotees came in, a lot of devotees, and they started chanting. And the kirtan got a little outrageous. It was very loud. And Ananga Manjari was thinking, this isn't so nice. She's not hearing Prabhupada, although the holy name, but she wants to hear Prabhupada. So she asked the devotees to chant very quietly, and that we can still hear Prabhupada chanting. And when the kirtan calmed down a little bit and she could hear Prabhupada again, she went, like that. So the time was coming. Ananga Manjari could sense it, that Bhishma was about to leave her body. So she was praying so heavily, please, 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 Prabhupada, come, help her. And she was holding Bhishma's hand. And Bhishma just kind of didn't open her eyes, but tilted her head back and went, Hare, 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 and left her body. And at that moment, Ananga Manjari says, I wasn't hallucinating, but in my mind's eye, I could see the mist of Srila Prabhupada coming. And I saw Bhishma's mist, which is a subtle body, come and greet him. They held hands, and they walked off into the corner of the room. And they turned, both of them, and went, like, come, you can come. And Ananga Manjari was thinking, I can't come. I'm stuck here all by myself now. And Prabhupada and Bhishma left. Now, every devotee is praying that something like this happens. That Srila Prabhupada comes and says, come, let's go. The time has come. You can come with me now. And that is why we practice this Krishna consciousness. That is why we're training our mind to keep our thoughts as pure as possible. And it's not easy, is it? It's not easy. The mind is not our friend. But that is our goal, is to make it our friend. So we have to practice this Krishna consciousness. Practice, practice, become regulated and practice. And that is our key. That is our key to never being in somebody's semen, being put into a womb again. Now, when we talk like that, it's kind of like, ew, I don't think I want to do that again. Well, if you really don't want to do it again, it's time to get a little bit more serious. Not a lot serious. Wouldn't ask anybody to do that. But a little more. A little more. Just a teeny weeny bit. Look at your day. What did you do so Krishna conscious? Could you do a bit more? Yeah. Maybe a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there. Prabhupada said, if you have extra time, chant Hare Krishna. You're walking down to go get your scooter, chant Hare Krishna. You're standing in the kitchen preparing the vegetables, chant Hare Krishna. You can't hurt yourself by doing this. And nobody's going to tell you, hey, shut up, will you? Because you're around devotees. You walk down the street chanting Hare Krishna, nobody's going to go, crazy, crazy. Not here in Mayapur. And if they do it elsewhere, what do you care? Who's crazy? Prabhupada said yesterday's purport, I love that one. I mean, I just dwelled on that. They have no brain. If they don't take to this Krishna, they have no brain. They're crazy people. They have no good qualities. So, this is our process. We don't want another birth. Oh, wait, I forgot. Do you guys want another birth? You're okay with that? You don't want another birth? Are you sure? You're positive? So you're going to stay Krishna conscious your entire life? Did you get that, Dad? All right. Is your mom here? I don't see your mom. Okay. All right. So we got a commitment. Krishna conscious all the way. Is there anybody else would like another birth here? You know, all you have to do is act a little un-Krishna conscious. You can get it. It's available. You can get that coupon. You can get demigod, all right, heavenly planets, here I come, woo! But of course, you know, after the heavenly planets, it's right back again. So maybe that's not what you want on your coupon. But I'm figuring Krishna doesn't bring a coupon. He just grabs your hand and says, come on, I got some pastimes, come on, join me. So that's where we're heading. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We have to thank Srila Prabhupada a lot, because he's the one that gave all this to us, right? Don't forget that. Because after all these old guys, me and Mr. Bhagavan, the Prabhupada disciples, after we're gone, don't forget Prabhupada. I have to put that in there. Don't forget how important Prabhupada is, was, and always will be. Okay. We have time for a quick question if we have one. Somehow my classes never have questions. Why is that? Oh, a question. You're just doing that because I said that, right? You wrote it down. A student. We like that.
Hi, Krishna Prabhu. Thank you for class.
This is Bhakta Scott from Delaware in the USA. Haribol!
You asked if we're 100% convinced, and I wrote down that some days, good days, maybe most days, I'm 100% convinced of the philosophy. But other days, I kind of have to run through it in my mind and reconvince myself. And then I feel guilty for not
Don't feel guilty.
Faith.
Don't feel guilty. The fact that you actually said, I have to reconvince myself, means you don't feel guilty. If you don't think I have to reconvince yourself, then you should feel guilty. Does that make sense? Yeah. Don't feel guilty. The process of Krishna consciousness is to reconvince yourself. Every day, reconvince yourself. You know, once you get through the day, you go, I did it, I made it, another day, Krishna conscious. That's all you can ask, you know, and you try to get a little bit better, a little bit more Krishna conscious every day. And it actually starts to feel that way too. It's kind of like, you know, putting a little extra something in your meals where you feel a little more energy. That energy is Krishna conscious, and you start to feel it. And I'm telling you that it actually works like that. That you will actually start to feel more Krishna conscious. And more Krishna conscious. And maybe you take a few steps back, but because you've got this foundation, you can quickly come right back again. And that's the beauty of it, because you're learning so much, whether you even realize it or not. So much stuff is going into your subtle body right now. You're going to maintain this. I'll tell you a quick story, and this is for you two guys. Hold on one second. In Gurukula in the 70s, they were getting the children to study shlokas. Very early, 5 years old, they're studying shlokas. And Prabhupada goes, this is very good. And the teacher is saying, but Prabhupada, they're so small. Why should we be getting them to memorize shlokas? And Prabhupada says, because they will carry these shlokas with them to their next birth. So they won't have to learn them again. Do you guys get that? Yeah? So it's really important to get as much as you possibly can, because you're going to bring it all with you. It's pretty cool. So you're going to be born and go, Sarvadharma Parityajya. You'll be like, wow, where'd that come from? And you can see that with a lot of our young children, right? They just walk in and they go, Haribo, Hare Krishna, and they start paying obeisances and stuff. You don't have to say, get down, pay your obeisances. I don't want to pay my obeisances. Kids are like this, yay, Haribo, Haribo. Sometimes that's their first thing they say is Haribo. My granddaughter just did it. She goes, Haribo, Haribo. And you're like, wow, where's that coming from? Well, that's where it's coming from. She probably was sitting over there in class like, a few years ago. Who knows? Okay, you have a question? You don't have a question. You do have a question. Okay, you can ask. What's your name?
Radhasundari.
Say it again.
Radhasundari.
Anasuya? No. Brajasuya. Brajasuya? Braja. I get 6 guesses at it. Okay, it's, say it again.
Radhasundari.
What? Asundari. Radha Sundari! Haribo! Sorry about that. It's old age, I can't hear so good. Go ahead.
It's not fully a question, just an
Hold it this way. It's directional, so you got to speak right into it.
It's not fully a question, but it's just an interest that you told the story about the ghost house, and you heard all the sounds, pots, doors, and what did you after you heard all of that?
What did we do after? I think I already told you that. We went back to our little hiding place in the front, and we just sat there all night long like, because they didn't stop for hours. Hours. They were banging doors and yelling. Actually yelling at us. I mean, we decided a little bit later, probably 2 hours later, to go upstairs. And it wasn't as freaky upstairs, but we didn't go all the way in either. We just went to the top of the stairs and go, okay, that's far enough, back down again. But what they actually did to rid, because it's the temple right now, this is, 40 some years later, this is the temple in Philadelphia. So we did a Maha Kirtan with all the devotees, and we went through the entire temple. And we put incense and we put pictures everywhere. And we had to actually cleanse the temple of all these ghosts. So now it's a full-on temple. It's not a nursing home. And there's no ghosts there, I hope. But I did leave Philadelphia shortly afterwards, so I never actually stayed in that temple. Okay? That's it? Okay. Oh! A question. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so you can get them to leave. One time Prabhupada went into a room, and I think that was at Tittenhurst, George Lennon's place, and he walked in the room and he started swinging his cane like this. And all the devotees were like, what are you doing? And Prabhupada says, don't you see? There are ghosts everywhere here. But Prabhupada, he could see that platform, that plane, but obviously we don't. But I did, I'll be honest, I did see a ghost, for real. And it sounds really corny, but you see these movies where they show a ghost, or even a cartoon like Casper the Friendly Ghost. It kind of does look like that. It really does. It's kind of like a misty body. And, I actually did see it. It was the form of a person, ran right into the wall, gone. So, for all those that don't believe at your own risk. Okay? All good? Well, glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.